Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Kelly.
I'm Frank.
There you go. I didn't have to say it's cricket time because I'm actually gonna do the it's cricket time, man, and it's gonna by itself. So you wanna do it again if you want?
Really? How's it gonna work?
What?
How's it gonna work? Tell me. Explain it to me.
All right. So what happens is this, okay?
Yep.
I say a word, you say the word,
Yes.
right? And then in Audacity, I will just take the intro and
Yes.
just put it directly after me.
But what do you say in the intro?
It's cricket time, man.
Yeah, you say that, but you say stuff before that too.
Right, but I can take that out.
Okay.
Right.
The power of editing.
Yeah, with the power of editing, I can do
Okay.
anything.
Welcome, guys, to the Backyard Barn Insect Podcast. How y'all doing?
It's about the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Please do not say that.
It's cricket time, man.
It's about the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Are you going to do that all the time?
I mean, sure. I'm cool with it.
Okay.
All right, so yeah, what do you want to talk about?
We had discussed talking about who we are.
Right.
That's what you had mentioned to me. And I agree with you, because people who don't know who we are would probably like to know why they should listen or care to join in the conversation, right?
Yeah, I think that's true. Yeah. So, would you like to go first?
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's gonna be good.
Yeah, that's gonna be a tough one. Okay. Where do we begin? That's a great question. Fuck, I don't even know. Where do I begin with? It's tough because I've changed so much over the last year.
Right.
And so really to try to rearticulate who I am prior to the events leading up to today, I want to start with the change. I can go back to that. I can go back to who I was.
Yeah, because
before.
people have already.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So I'm interested in talking about, it's about October, I would say. Have my degree in philosophy, thought about going back to school.
Oh, I thought it was in English.
Yikes.
That's why you got so mad when I said that.
Yeah. But I mean, that's cool. No, I was just working a corporate job and thought about going back to school and really had no two other ways about it. Didn't really think about, I just knew that being 2 years into a corporate job, it starts to get to you. And if you've worked in a corporate job for a long time, it's easy for it to feel like everything is going the way it should be, right? So, and I think we've talked many times where I would call you and talk to you about whatever, realized how much bullshit it is, trying to do work for yourself and start your own business and stuff like that. We've talked about that a couple times. So I kind of had this revelation about, after the 2 years of working there, that I was going to maybe continue on, that I would, it's good money, and why not? Just keep going. And I don't know. I don't think that that's something I necessarily want to do now. I think that's changed quite extensively.
Now, what is the main reason for your change? Is it because you don't see a future in it?
No.
Not at all. No future.
Zero.
Is it because you don't see an actual pathway to the higher position, or is it just the monotony of it all?
I definitely think I would be up to the task if I really was there mentally. If I could get my head into that space, then I'd be totally down with it. I feel like I could do well. I don't enjoy A, working for somebody else, or B, I don't really want to deal with that monotony, as you say. I don't think that's something I would enjoy to do.
Devil's advocate would say, wouldn't you? I mean, you have to do it, right? Like, to a point, you have to, be the understudy until you can actually become your own boss.
That's
you
true.
Know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I hear that, and that's fine. There are other ways to be an understudy.
Yeah. That's definitely true.
Many ways to be an understudy. One of them does not have to be the corporate line. And I think for a lot of people, graduate college, especially with a philosophy degree, you graduate college and you want to do what? We'll take you in. And I applied to a ton of jobs and I got a call. It was they just called me at random. I was like, cool, I'll do a quick phone interview. A phone interview turns into an in-person interview and turns into a position. And fresh out of a bachelor's degree, I'm working at a corporate job. Cool, right? But the other thing I should mention too is that this kind of ties back into the whole leading up to my job transition is I didn't graduate with a bachelor's until I was 25. 25, right? And for some people, they view that. I got a lot of comments when I was in bachelor's, but I was like, you're 25? I was like, yeah. It's like, oh, I'm 21 or 2. Like, holy shit. Like, you went from high school to bachelor's and you're getting your graduate degree. Some of these motherfuckers are really, and they've had the family support, or they had the support in general to really go and do it. It's not fucking easy at all. So yeah, 25 bachelor's degree, corporate job, making money, feeling great. Save up money, buy a new Lincoln that's now gone. It's decimated, right? And so you have to ask yourself, what am I doing? And am I about to talk about this?
Hey, let's just say it like this. This is your cricket time.
This is my
right
cricket
here.
time, yeah. I have to really think about if I want to talk about this.
No, let's say it like this. Whatever is said,
Right.
We're both going to have to agree
Right.
or disagree that it shouldn't be in it.
Right.
So no fear.
All right, cool. I mean, it is that uncomfortability because you realize now that we're out there.
Right.
Like, I know we talk about we want this to be authentic, right? We want to be our authentic self and tell the truth, which we do, and I do certainly. But there's that feeling right here, like in your chest, like, fuck, am I about to talk about this? Right? So I'm going to talk about it. And I'll lead into what I am skeptical to talk about by first talking about marijuana.
Oh, of course.
I've had my medical card for about 1.5 years, maybe 2 years now. And for a long, long time, I was on an antidepressant. A long-ass time.
I remember.
I started to have negative side effects of that pill. One very strange side effect being I had frequently used the restroom.
I remember. Yes. Yeah, I remember this now. Yes, I do.
And I've been in situations where, like, if I gotta piss, I gotta go today, like right the second. Okay. Among other strange side effects that I've had, that being the most really weird. But I realized I no longer wanted to partake in that drug, and there are plenty of negative side effects with anti-anxiety, anti-depression, a lot of mental health drugs that people take. I'm not saying people shouldn't take them, but clearly there are alternatives to just taking the pill.
As you can see now in the boom
Correct.
in the marijuana industry.
Correct. And CBD too, for that matter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But in particular, dispensaries, yeah. Started off with a vaporizer pen. I think that was my first go-to. Being in some way intimidated by either rolling a joint or even even though I was a cigarette smoker for many years before that, was somehow strangely worried by actually handling a joint. It was,
and the smell. I remember that.
yeah.
I was calling you a baby pothead.
Yeah. I was just cheating, right? I was cheating.
Yes.
With the vaporizer. I did not just like, okay, cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
Got high, and I started to have a lot of mental clarity. And I didn't have mental clarity like that for a long time. You start actually being with yourself, and you smoke and you sit with yourself and you kind of meditate. And I was writing poetry. I still write poetry at the time, but was writing a lot more then. And I had all kind of crazy thoughts about what I thought my life would be and what kind of job I wanted. Like a lot of big thoughts that a lot of young people have, disproportionately. And that kind of led me to let's smoke a joint. Let's try an edible. Let's try. As of recent, let's get a glass bong and try it and get blasted.
Now you understand the definition of Moon Man, all right?
Yeah. I fucking get it now.
Yeah,
I
you
do.
were all alone.
I do. I get it now.
Beautiful thing.
It is, and this is the thing, and I remember for the longest time I had an aversion to smoking marijuana for a long time. I would be invited places and they'd offer it to me and I'd like try it and it's like, okay. But my head was not there.
Right.
I was not interested in it, and even when people offered it to me, I was like, okay, I'll try it.
Well, I mean, we've all been told that, we've all seen those commercials of this is your brain, and it was an egg.
Yep.
And then it was a frying pan put all the way up to 10.
Oh, yeah.
This is your brain on drugs.
And it's total bullshit.
Right.
It's
But
total bullshit.
that's the coding that we were,
Yeah.
put through as children and as young adults, which I can't lie. It could save people because it would prevent them from doing certain drugs, harder drugs as children, but at the same time, it stopped everybody from,
Oh, yeah.
the thought, right? Like, it's the devil's lettuce. That's what I remember as a kid,
yeah.
right? Like, I'm like, what's wrong with lettuce?
Yeah.
Lettuce never hurt anybody.
Yeah. No, it's I don't even know why it's like, I understand the propaganda.
Well, yeah.
But
see,
like, it comes from a generation of people that smoked marijuana.
Well,
why?
Well, Frank, we live in we were born in a very special time where we were right at the beginning. Oh, I'm sorry, right at the tail end of the crack cocaine epidemic. The war on drugs was ramping up, and whose wife was it? Who was I cannot remember. I'm a terrible historian for this one, but she had a campaign, just say no to drugs. Just say no.
Wow.
Right? That was it. Just say no.
And that carried throughout the years.
Generations.
I mean, we heard it. I was in school. I've heard that. Yeah.
Right. Now, what we're going to talk about a little bit deeper later is all of the political implications of marijuana and how now billion-dollar industry, right? Like Colorado in their first year of legalizing marijuana made so much money, they actually started sending money back to the taxpayers because they made so much revenue off of marijuana sales. Imagine that everybody in California, Colorado got a $15 check.
Wow.
Something like that in the mail from the state because this tax surplus.
Pennsylvania's Governor Tom Wolf actually suggested legalizing it recreationally because he thought that it would help with COVID relief. The amount of money that the states are going in debt.
Oh, most definitely.
And having to borrow millions and possibly billions of dollars.
Imagine the smartest marketing ploy. Get high, eat a bunch of fucking munchies or whatever, right? That's my favorite. Oh, let's not get into that. Get high, right?
Yep.
Eat a bunch of fucking shit at home. Watch Disney Plus, Netflix, and be safe from the virus.
Easy.
But no.
That's why I made them. Like, I made them and like ate them and just like chilled out, and I was at home.
Well, some people listening might disagree
Sure.
that they should ingest whatever you make. Okay.
Yes. Oh, that's true.
Let's just say that. Like, I didn't know, but your stuff has like a name on the streets as, "Ooh, don't fuck with that."
Yeah, that's just some potency.
Make sure your ass in the bed getting ready to go to sleep. All right.
You're so right. You're right about that. Yeah.
But let's talk about the learning, right? The unlearning of all of the years of derogatory information that we've gotten about marijuana, the people who smoke marijuana especially, right? Because I think that's a stigma that still exists, that just smoking marijuana itself, it's something morally wrong with that person.
Can you imagine going to your family and saying, to me anyway, especially with my mother smoked pot, and my father has never tried it.
Yeah.
You go up to your family. Right, and like you go up to your family and they're like, "Hey, you know, I'm smoking weed now," or like you smoke around them.
Right.
That's the other thing. You smoke around family members. It's different.
Yeah.
Because they like view you differently, as if you somehow
ascended like this weird ceiling. That's what I would say.
I feel that. However, I don't always feel like they think that I've ascended, right?
Oh, so it's more like judgment.
No, it's not even judgment. It's like disappointment. I don't know. It's hard, tough to describe.
I can agree. Yeah.
And it's not even. And we'll get to more about drugs in general momentarily. But with the marijuana, yeah, there is that judgment all over the place, and especially if you've never tried it before.
Yeah.
Propaganda.
All right. Imagine first time you ever try it, it's a bong rip.
And I understand why people view it negatively.
There you go. Now you understand the necessity of a Sherpa.
Right.
You need somebody to help you ascend that mountain for the first few times. Because if you do it by yourself,
yep, 100%.
Lord knows where you're gonna 100%. End
up. And also I believe in doing it by yourself too.
Oh, that's all right. So 100%. for me, I prefer by myself. I've learned that I was just thinking about this today. I feel like I'm a microphone. So what happens for me is whoever's around me, I pick up on that vibration, right? And I harness it, right? And for me, being around other people when I smoke certain things, certain strains, I can't do it. It's not going to happen.
It's a sativa for me. I can't
be
around people and do that.
I think the stigma is the biggest issue, because what I learned is there was probably maybe 2 summers ago, I told myself that I would smoke every day. And it wasn't because I was like trying to get my tolerance up so I could smoke with other people. No, it was because I wanted to unlearn as much. I wanted to have as much ego death as possible. Now people say, "Oh, you should take something else for that." But at the time, I was not prepared mentally. Being mentally prepared for certain things is the scary thing, right?
Yeah.
But I told myself I would go through this exercise to force myself to have to deal with what I was going through, right? And on top of it, something happened where I started to recognize, like I just started to pick up on certain things that I'd never seen before, right?
Yeah.
Like I would see somebody else on the street, like a normal person. I would see a family member and I would look at him and I was like, "Damn, you're fucking high right now." I never knew this. Auntie, you're smoking. Like, dude, like I never, you've been smoking this whole time and I had no idea.
I learned quick too.
Right?
I learned real quick who was high and who wasn't.
It's like you pick up on these different vibrations.
Yeah.
Right? And for you, you're visual, right?
Yep.
Your eyes see things. I don't know.
I've been seeing some shit.
We had to go to Reddit for that one. Anybody at there Reddit who's ever smoked way too much weed and start actually seeing visuals.
Yeah.
We need to hear you speak up, please, because
I've been seeing some shit. But to talk about, back with the antidepressant, it's weird that in that judgment, we're so quick to say with the antidepressant, oh, that's okay.
Right.
We know nothing about these drugs or long-term
Actually,
effects.
Frank, we do.
Okay.
But you weren't told it.
Correct.
But for some reason, it's been normalized that we can take a pill. If it's a pill, it's fine. But if we have to smoke it, inject it, do whatever, that's bad, right? So let's talk about Ritalin, all of these different drugs. We're like microdosing our children.
Oh, yeah.
Right? With LSD. Right? But
you need to explain that. You need to explain
microdosing our children so they can sit the fuck down.
The Ritalin and the LSD.
I'm not prepared at this moment to go down this rabbit hole.
All right, let's
just say this. Okay. there are certain street names for certain drugs, and then there are like the clinical names for the drugs, right? So let's say, for example, there was this really, really big weight loss pill on the market. There's a movie out that I watched probably in 2009. It's called Requiem for a Dream.
Yes. Yep.
Powerful movie, right? Mm-hmm. It shattered my ego like into a million pieces the first time I watched it, right? Somebody didn't Sherpa me and they didn't tell me you shouldn't watch this high because it was the most emotional roller coaster I've ever been on when it comes to anything visual. So, the lady, the mother was taking different what are they called, weight loss pills, but she didn't know that weight loss pill was actually speed. Right? So she's taking clinical speed, and if you keep upping it, you get the same high as if somebody would take speed on the street, right?
Yeah.
But it's okay because I'm losing weight, because the same side effects of taking speed, energy, right? Loss of appetite, right? You just feel euphoric, all of this stuff, but it's okay because some pharmaceutical people put it in a pill and said, this is safe for consumption. But at the same time, that can still be a Schedule 1, Schedule 2 drug.
I feel like she was even hallucinating at some point in the movie, right?
All of it. Because she started toward the end to start mixing different ones.
I gotta watch it again. That was a good movie.
I'm afraid
now too.
I've watched it 3 times, and I've never done a high again. Just really? Like what other movie was it? It was like a top 10 movies to watch high. I think the first one was Inception. Number 2 was The Matrix.
Oh yeah.
The number 3 I can't remember.
I'm such a bad stoner because I've never watched The Matrix high.
Don't do it.
I think I have to though.
Don't do it.
I'm going to do it.
Because if you want to know what The Matrix really is, then you'll find out. You'll find out real fucking quick what The Matrix is.
Antidepressants.
Yeah. All right. So let's we keep getting distracted.
All right. So yeah. I was on it for a long time.
Yes.
Plenty of bad side effects, as we mentioned. I get my medical card, right? Start hitting the pen, and this is coming out of being a gamer, buying expensive shit, on an antidepressant, working a corporate job, really not just giving a fuck. I guess kind of living, really, right? And started smoking the weed. The weed. And it is that you really do. And it's so difficult to explain. It is almost incomprehensibly difficult to explain to somebody who's not at least took a hit before, right? Or what that entails. So again, I've been smoking marijuana for a few years now, and I feel that things have really changed for me in a big way. And that kind of leads me to the point of this, which I would say was last year, October.
Mm-hmm.
I, at the time, I had roommates. and was offered the opportunity of a lifetime. That opportunity was psilocybin, was mushrooms. And I had him in my closet for a long time. I had him in the closet for like 2 or 3 months, actually.
I remember you brought him out with you in your coat pocket. Where did we go? We went to the symphony.
Yeah.
Idiot.
Yeah. And they stunk so bad. If you've never smelled psilocybin before, you'll know when you smell it, because it is that bad. And yeah, sat in my closet for 2 or 3 months. And finally, one day, I had decided, and I think this goes for a lot of people too, people that are hesitant to do something, whether it's a drug or anything in life, right? For that matter, if you don't do it, you're gonna keep talking about doing it, and you're gonna keep talking about doing it for a long time. It reminds me in the TV show Westworld. I can't even remember the 2 characters. It was like Dorothy and the other dude.
No fucking clue.
You don't remember?
I don't remember names.
You don't? Oh fuck. Anyway, but it's like in the show, it keeps like repeating the same event over and over and over again, or like it's different variations, right? And one of the main protagonists asks her. She says, "When are we going to be together?" And she says, "Someday." That's pretty much what we do. Right? Someday we will try mushrooms or get a new job or whatever it is, but we don't do it. So for me, someday turned into today or that day, right? Yeah. And I tried it. And I will say that how I prepare myself was in the similar vein that I prepare for any time I know I'm going to get really high and have very many colorful thoughts and creativity. My first step that I do is I make sure the entire house is pre-prepared. Okay? What that means is like, you have your glass of water ready, all the food's prepared, you don't cook anything.
A glass of water? I have
a jug.
I have a jug.
Yeah, you get a jug of water, okay? Everything has to be like in its place, like where you know you're going to find it. It needs to be there. I am so anal about being prepared before I do anything with drugs. It is almost anti-stoner, I feel like, in some way. But it is absolutely, if you've never tried any of it before, you need to be absolutely prepared, and that's what I preach to anybody that asks me. Second, with mushrooms in particular, not so much with marijuana, you need to eat clean, like at least a day before.
What happens if you don't, Frank?
You may vomit.
Oh.
It's not to say the eating bad will make you vomit. It's like you may vomit from the amount of euphoria you will experience, right? And so if you don't eat clean or you don't eat light, you should eat light and clean, it's really going to suck when you vomit. So, and I have not vomited, but if you're one of those people that for whatever reason can't, I don't know, handle it, or I mean, I don't know if that's the right word to use, but if you experience a large dosage that makes you feel sick, you're going to have a involuntary protein spill, and that'll be that. So have a trash can for that kind of thing, and that's what I did. I had a bin. Right?
Oh, you really?
I was prepared.
I was
did
ready. Your research on this one.
Yeah.
You WebMD'd it. I understand.
Yes. Yeah. Even self-diagnosed myself. Thank you. Thank you very much. As I had that ready, had all the food and the drink. I had a nature documentary prepared. I informed. Unfortunately, I lived in a place that was drug friendly, and had somebody walk me around outside, as I was tripping.
Damn.
So I had everything prepared. I let everybody know. Go ahead.
One second. You said a drug friendly.
Yes.
Neighborhood.
Zone. House. Roommates.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. That's something special. I haven't
It
really
was.
heard that one.
Well, I mean, I never stayed in a college dormitory, but I imagine it's probably of similar caliber.
It's not friendly. Let me just say,
Really?
college dormitory is not friendly.
Okay, well, then that's a bad example then. I really had, and that really was that saving grace. I don't think I would have done it
Right.
or experienced in that way if I did not have a community that supported me in doing that. So important.
And that's the key for a lot of
so
things.
important. It is so important to have people to back you up when you want to try new things.
And be there for you when it goes south.
Oh, yeah. Because you have to understand, in some respect, the fact that I'm even talking about this right now.
Yeah.
It's like, you know when you feel like you have credibility in your community. Okay? So in some respect, I know I have credibility with some people. And the fact that I'm talking about it, and I've told family members before that I've done it, and they know. But people that maybe haven't talked to me in a while, like, holy shit, this guy did. Yeah, I mean, I did.
This guy's a certified badass now.
I don't feel very badass, but I feel.
Who cares how you feel? All
exactly.
Right.
So yeah, everything was ready, and I thought that I would take them and grind them and take it as a powder because they're dried mushrooms.
Oh,
so,
I remember we had an entire argument about this one.
And I was being a little bitch.
Well, can we like take a step back and explain your entire process of what you were going to do? You were going to dehydrate them, right?
So they're already dried.
Okay, so they're already dried, but you were going to get a blitzer, like a coffee blitzer.
So yeah, I can describe that. I was going to get a coffee grinder.
Yeah.
Okay. And
the automatic one, like
automatic
the
pulse.
Yeah. There you go.
And like coffee beans, put the mushrooms in there and you grind it, right? So then it becomes into a powder. Okay. Then I was going to fill them into gelatin capsules. You can buy gelatin capsules on Amazon, for Christ's sake, and fill the powder into the pill and just take it like a pill, which I now in hindsight find very interesting.
You know, we had all I said to you was, okay, or
just eat them.
Just eat it.
Just eat it.
Right?
And I still kind of bitched out in a way because I just found like a piece of like just white bread that my roommate had, and like I stole a piece of his white bread.
Wait, you stole a piece of white bread off of you went into his room and just took a piece of
no,
white
like
bread.
in the kitchen.
Oh, okay. You need to specify because
Sorry,
you said my roommate's white. Okay.
Yeah, in the kitchen. Yeah. Jesus. And
stealing crumbs of white bread
Yikes.
off of people's plates.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? But no, I took a slice of white bread from the kitchen and just put the mushrooms in there. I just ate it, and it's not great. I mean, they stink. They stink, and they're dried mushrooms. Like it's not pleasant by any means. But I would say that anything that is pleasant is not. Or pleasant the first time, is not really like you don't deserve it in some way. It's like if I put them in the pills first, and I think we talk about rites of passage, right? You should try at least the first time, right? And you should eat them, and I ate them, and all I can describe at this point in time is. Over the next 8 hours, you're tripping, and there's certain dosages you take. The average dosage being like 3.5 grams or 1/8 of an ounce. And over the next 8 hours, you just see all kind of spectacular things when you step outside and you look at the trees, for example. And it wasn't even that much. I mean, and I think there's a misconception. You start seeing shit and things start jumping out of you. But I'm not doing PCP. The leaves appear as if they're breathing, right? We kind of get lost in our own world every day, and we end up actually looking at things when we are high. You start to notice things. Trees are living organisms.
What?
Believe it or not, they breathe in their own way, right? If you took a microscope to a leaf, it's living. Things are happening, right? So the fact that I'm witnessing a tree in its actuality, like what it's doing, like as a function in nature, is fucking wild to see that.
Like you finally recognize that a tree was alive.
Yes.
For the first time in your life.
Yes. And so it gives me a pause when I see people just like ripping up trees in the yard. Like,
oh no.
Did you like really think that you have to rip it up? Or like, let me talk about the Amazon rainforest and
Teddy.
deforestation. Yeah. So, but that was last October.
Right.
And that set the tone for me. And another positive thing is people wonder, well, why do mushrooms? Like, you're going to get high. The point is not you get high, right? The point is that you see who you are. And that's the point. You see a revelation of how am I functioning in the world? How am I eating? How am I treating people? Do I like where I'm going? Did I have a misstep here? And overall, did I really give it any thought to life in general? But additionally, you feel kind of a boost in confidence, which is no coincidence that after I took mushrooms, I started to date quite extensively.
Oh, God.
And
we're going to have to talk all about that.
Yeah, that'll be a whole other thing. Yeah, it's a whole thing. I dated quite a lot. And that kind of defined a good majority of the rest of that year and into the beginning of the following year.
Right, you were just a hoe.
I was a hoe for a while.
Yeah, we all have to do it.
And I would say that kind of set me on the path. And again, the past episode, our pilot, I talk a little bit about the car accident and things of that nature. But that event, gaining that confidence and learning about myself, trying to navigate my thoughts, and additionally, I guess I should talk things that are not all just about drugs. I should probably actually say something about me. I have a food blog that I try to post on often, but the point being, I love to cook. And I have that food blog really to put out what I make, even though I don't do it all the time. It's not always pretty. But I have that. That's one of my modes of expression. The other one being I write poetry. I studied poetry in college for a few classes, although I didn't start there. I was a philosophy major. And I try to write as often as I can now. I used to be much more serious about it, but that is really my calling, we'll say. Like, that's something that I really know that's mine, and that's what I want to do. And I would say those two things are what defines me. What else do you think? Am I missing anything?
Well, I was just thinking in my head, this podcast is going to be about you today. not even being funny. This is good. I'm interested.
This could be mine. You could have next. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Okay, that's fine.
I don't know what I'm going to say yet, but
I don't know what. I didn't plan this at all.
No,
this is me. Right.
Well, that's the whole point,
yeah.
Right? Like as you're speaking, I'm listening. Right, I'm giving you that space.
Yeah.
And I'm actually genuinely interested.
Yeah.
I have a few questions.
Certainly.
But yeah, I think the thing that I drew away from it was the whole transition from Western, medicine of take your antidepressants, right, into this new realm of knowledge that a lot of people are afraid of even touching.
Right.
Because of the stigma of it.
Yeah.
Right. And the whole part of what we're doing here is there's going to be a lot of stuff that we never thought about, thought it was even taboo to think about.
Right.
Right. Or to do just because of the culture that we live in. Right. Like sex education in America.
Oh, God.
Right. No. Let's not. That's one of the big ones that we can easily pinpoint.
Yeah.
Right? The war on drugs is another one.
Gun culture.
Gun culture.
You need to watch that. There was a clip on a Daily Show, Trevor Noah. About
Oh, I watched it.
with
Yeah, in Sweden.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, Switzerland.
I'm sorry. I apologize. Two different places.
Got goddamn countries mixed up.
They're all better than America right now. Okay, let's just say that.
By far, yeah.
If you can have an assault rifle in one hand and a damn beer in the other,
God, so that's American as fuck.
that is the most American thing possible.
Right.
But I don't think that's a possibility here.
No, it's not. It's unfortunate.
I mean, but for us, it's like it's something we already understand, right? We accept the fact that we have liberty, right? We have freedom at a certain cost,
Yeah.
right? So there's a lot of things that I feel like, especially you brought up about the entire system of war on drugs has swept all of these mind altering, not necessarily bad, right? Beneficial medicines, right? Under the rug and just slapped a label of if you use them, if you sell them, if you even think about it, you're a loser, you're a deadbeat.
Well,
Right.
the problem we have now is that then we get into things where these companies are starting to sell it like kratom.
Well, that's the whole point, right?
Right.
It in this capitalist society, it's not something that's valuable until you can monetize it,
Correct.
right? Like I'm waiting for them to have a THC pill. They're gonna have it,
Oh yeah.
right? And they
100%.
probably already have it.
I think I have those. I have it. I have they're called awakening tablets. I'll show it to you.
All right, no, I mean like a synthetic,
You mean just okay?
right?
Yeah.
Like a pill, like you literally just like, oh, I forgot to take my THC today, and
Right.
you open up your file cabinet, right?
This is
I
like
said file cabinet, but your
medicine cabinet.
medicine cabinet, that thing,
Yeah.
right? Just get a green pill. Oh,
Right.
Oh, yep, I'm
Well,
good.
they're chewables, like taking your Flintstone vitamins, right? You chew them, and then that's it.
Hmm.
That's the extent we've gotten. And the next step is to get something you just take as a pill. in the
Right, like a
morning.
doctor can just be like, here,
Right.
bro, just take
Exactly.
that, chill the fuck out.
Yeah.
Right. But can you talk a little bit how you felt taking your antidepressant medication, right? And the fact that you took these pills
Mm-hmm.
to alter your mind, right?
Correct.
To a point where you felt better, right?
Yes.
Or you were attempting to feel better. But at the same time, were you not hurting yourself? You get me? Like you weren't trying to find your true person, who you really were. You're trying to cover it up.
Right. And there's a personal responsibility that goes in with that when you decide not to take it.
Yes.
Right.
A big one.
When you take it, that's one less thing you got to worry about. And it makes sense for people who already don't have a lot of time on their hands, right? You got your kids, you got your job, you got your house chores, you got to make the car payment. Take the fucking antidepressant and be done. And that's okay for a lot of people.
And just slick your hair back and everything
Right.
will be good, right?
Right. And that was no longer okay for me because it made things happy without being happy, if that makes sense.
Right. Like your serotonin level were probably fucked.
Yeah, they're fucked. Well, they were fucked. Hopefully they're better now, but they were fucked. And so by deciding not to take it, I realized I actually had to sit down and research, or at least take responsibility for my actions.
Right.
And what that meant was, and you probably suffer this too, my mood swings as often as they go. I certainly have them.
Mm-hmm.
And the marijuana certainly has, and through meditation too, has that sea has begun to level. The waves started to come down quite extensively. And so again, by taking that personal responsibility, you learn about your own health. And I can't emphasize how important that is, because if you don't, then it becomes, oh, now I have to hire somebody. Oh, I have to get a nutritionist. Oh, I have to get a doctor. Oh, there will always be somebody else to do it. Which kind of ties into my next point here. This is tangential.
Yeah, this is literally going to be called Who
Yeah.
is Frank?
Yeah, it's tangential. I bought a house.
Yes.
Right?
We're the one we're in now.
We're in this house, yeah.
Yes, this one.
I have any more? I don't think. Okay, yeah. Just this one.
Hey.
Yeah. I mean, I might.
Lord knows.
Yeah.
There's definitely another Franco Tartaglia out there.
God, hope not. Because this is Never mind. But so I bought a house, and with that has tremendous responsibility. I mean, it is the amount of things that have to be done to this house. And I should mention, this is not a put together, it's ready to move in a house. I bought a short sale house. It's practically a foreclosed house. And this is one of the nicer foreclosed houses we saw.
I would have to agree there, 100%.
Yeah. This is actually substantially nice for a short sale foreclosed house.
If you walk in and you can't see the basement from the first floor, you're already...
Yeah, exactly. We're winning.
Yeah.
Things need to be painted. Things have to be taken up and reupholstered, or the baseboard has to be replaced in certain areas. Things have to be sealed. There are windows that have to be replaced. There's a ton of shit to do, and it is an enormous undertaking, especially being somebody who has no experience in maintaining a home. How do you do that? You have to learn how to do it, and so. That's why I did it. In a similar vein, I stopped taking antidepressant. You have to learn how to function in your own depression and your own anxiety. What does that mean? What does that entail? If you smoke marijuana, if you take mushrooms or whatever drug of your choice, you have to take the personal responsibility for that. If you buy a house, if you buy a used car, right? So also, tangentially, I purchased as I mentioned, a 2008 Lincoln Town Car.
A classic.
A classic. It's
a Florida classic. No rust.
It's a classic.
Amazing.
45,000 miles. 45,000, yeah.
Original.
Yeah. I think 2 owners, maybe.
Nah.
Yeah. 1?
You know what? Right now, it doesn't even matter.
Doesn't matter.
It's a classic.
It's classic. When it runs like a gem, I mean, it's smooth. And I am learning. Unfortunately, you were teaching me some things about cars. I know nothing about how to maintain a car. Before that, I had a 2016 model. Take it to the shop. They'll fix it.
Right. You get in and you get out.
They're going to charge you $500 to fix nothing, right?
Oh, they're going to fix something.
Something's going to get fixed. Not what I asked to get fixed, right? And I realized throughout this whole process that I'm doing things and I'm just telling people what to do. I'm not actually doing any of it. I was just a manager in the realm of my life with no real control over my own. And if you, and this is why I so emphasize learning these things now, spending time with you and learning how to work on cars, spending time with other family members, like working on things around the house, or and anything even trade related or hands-on, or to take care of something has exponentially risen in my interest. I think part of that is in part because of COVID, and part of it was really getting off the antidepressant. I think that was a main kicker for me.
All right, so you're in this new headspace, right? You are at this corporate job, and you don't see a way out of it.
Right.
Now you find all of these interesting, trades that you've never even paid attention to before.
Yep.
Right? Like, how does that, what is that on the ego? Like, how does that make you feel to know that you've gone your entire life and you have no expertise in, say, fixing a car or building a house?
This is particularly ironic.
Is it?
And I know you like irony.
That's my middle name.
Almost everybody in my family has a trade.
Yeah.
My mother was a hairdresser for a long time. My father's an HVAC technician. My grandparents both were tailors. My grandfather on my mother's side, I guess not a trade, but worked in a mill. Or like a foreman, right? All very hands-on. Uncles have owned restaurants, chef, right? And here I am. Oh, let's go to college. I mean, I didn't know any better. I don't think my parents did either, quite frankly. And so there's nothing to think about. You just do it, right? And that's the ironic part for me is it took the process, and I'm not saying that people shouldn't go to college. That's not what I'm saying at all. People definitely should if they feel that they want to, although on the same token, I don't know if people that start going to college at age 18 really have the headspace to make that decision.
Well, yeah, and that's another thing that we're going to get into is about how we have a very unconventional college resume. Let's just say it like that.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So we're a little bit different because we are older than the average college student when they, like you graduated 25, right?
Yeah, so it would have been 2017, yeah.
Right? So the normal graduate is what, 21, 22?
Yep.
Right? Brimming with energy, not knowing what to do.
Ready to change the world with no goals, just ready to
and then life just...
Yep.
But at the same time, like, from what I'm hearing, your family, right, grew up in a different time where a trade meant, like...
survival.
The utmost stability.
Yeah.
Right? Because with a trade, you'll always have work.
Right.
Especially if you're very skilled in what you do.
Right.
Right? But now we're away from, and we have greatly moved away from trade first mentality. Right now it's corporate. Right? That's it. Graduate, work in an office somewhere. That's it. Now there's people who have worked their way around it. Mm-hmm. But majority of people, they don't get into that trade unless one of their parents has already been there. Or somehow they fell into it and fell in love with it. And they just made the decision that maybe college isn't right for me. Or maybe not just a bachelor's degree, but I'll stop there. I won't keep going, you know? Which I think is a whole nother thing in itself.
Well, that's the thing, and I will also say that up until what, 2 weeks ago, maybe a month ago, let's say, I was pretty confident I was going to do a master's program.
So you should, maybe when you're like 50,
right?
But
I want to wait, and there are other master's programs that I might do, but for the greater part of the second half of this year, I was like, I'm going to do a master's program in the library and information science. I wanted to be a librarian, right?
Oof.
And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to have a knowledge of research and great love of books and be part of the community. And it's not to say it's not a bad thing.
No, and the reason why I said oof is because imagine saying that to a 17-year-old, 18-year-old.
Oh yeah, even then.
Oh, dude, you should be a librarian.
Right.
I'd say get the fuck out of my face.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely.
Right? Like what, a librarian?
Yeah.
We just learned, like, through you telling me, I had no idea you had to have a master's degree to be a librarian.
Yep, master's degree.
Mind blown.
Yeah.
I just thought you had to trip in the fucking library and be like, hey, you want a job? Yeah.
No.
Right.
To work for a public, if you want to work for like a, I would say Enoch Pratt library, right? You need to have a master's degree. Now, there are some institutions like Baltimore County Public Library, if you have a bachelor's and they feel like, I guess, you're a good candidate, they will pay for your master's degree up to a certain percentage. But you, at some point, have to have a master's degree.
Right.
But for me, I just know that now, today, I can't sit still in a classroom or even in a Zoom meeting or whatever the medium would be. I can't. I really can't. And I know that I'm right now I'm getting my schooling in real estate and doing the online class with that. But I've also decided, you know what? Trades are kind of cool, and I think for a long time, especially you have that rebellious phase with your parents, like, oh, I don't want to be like them. I'm gonna do that, but right? I mean, they do cool shit.
Yeah.
I mean, the trades are fucking awesome. We tend to view that in such a negative light.
Yep.
Not only do you get to learn how to take care of things around the house and help other people with whatever they need, you make a shit ton of money too. I mean, I remember my girlfriend needs to have these air conditioning units put into her apartment. I'm going to charge her $180
Gravy.
to put an AC unit in a window.
Gravy. Do you hear me? Gravy.
$180.
Yes.
Okay?
That's that. I don't flinch. That's gravy.
That's insane to me. If I could actually pick up the AC unit, which I can't because of this fucking injury, I'd pick it up.
Oh, but you will eventually. And that'll be your 180.
Yeah, exactly.
But and that's the whole point. Like, we live in this weird time where, and I keep saying it because it's so fucking true. Like, we are bombarded with all of these signs, all of these teachings at a young age that we have to do this, we have to do that. I understand that our parents are pushing us as far as possible, right? But in the same time, we could overshoot our fucking landing.
Yeah.
And where we need to be and where we wanted to be at all time, it could have been miles behind us. Like, I have a really good friend who tried college out, stopped his first semester, has been working the entire time. And he is further along than I could ever be at this age. Yeah. Because he stuck with something. The whole point in all of this stuff now is it's so much information. So much information. And it's just like we have so many things that we can choose. Yeah. Right? Now, the hardest part is finding out what you're good at. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, there's this whole 10,000 hour thing. Have you ever heard of this?
Yeah, I have.
Right. So to become a professional, you need to have worked 10,000 hours or 5 years equivalent from a 9 to 5 in this one craft to be a professional. How many people have faltered along that way to become a professional to truly see how good you really could be?
Right. But I tend to stray away from that type of thinking, especially at our age. And the reason I do that is the following. There's so much shit.
Well, you are proving my point right now.
Yes.
There's so much shit I cannot focus on one thing.
I just stole your thunder, my bad.
No, you just made my thunder louder.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm sorry, Frank. You failed cricket time. You were not listening.
God damn it.
You have been voted off the podcast. I'm sorry, guys. Next week we'll have a new co-host.
Better luck next time. It's like there's so much shit. There's so much we can do. Yeah. And for me, I didn't realize it till last year, and I was 27. Now, people that realize that when they're 18. Yeah. Fuck, I wish I was 18 to be able to have the same mindset.
There's a quote that I might get tattooed on my body if I have the balls enough to do it. Okay. It is called Jack of all trades, master of none.
You should do it.
That is me, right?
Don't keep saying someday.
So many pots, right? So many pots, interesting pots, that you can dip your hands in and get the most ridiculous information. Yep. Right? But we live in this now where it's so instant. We don't have the time to really be like, is this viable? Is this, oh wait, student loan debt. Right. Right?
But it's not the student loan debt is okay. It's not.
Whoa, what?
It's okay to not know what you want to do.
Now this is the issue. How many 18-year-olds know exactly what they want to do?
0.
You say 0. Okay. Devil's advocate, I'll say 20%.
I don't believe you.
Okay, I'm just saying devil's advocate, right? 20% of these well-educated students who actually go to college know what they're going to do. So that means that 80% are just...
Even then, yeah.
Just...
I mean, it's not to say that, again, let's say 20%, had a great family background, had all the monetary available.
They knew their path, right?
They knew their path. They had mentorship. They had a community. They went and participated in social gatherings. They had help pretty much every step of the way. There was assistance. There was somebody that was listening. They had therapy.
But is that then your choice?
None of it's our choice.
Okay, so I agree with you, 0%. Yeah. That was easy argument. Right? Okay, you win.
So... we, at even age 18, even younger, we should put our hands in as many different avenues as we want. You know, I'm going to try painting, or I'm going to work in construction, or I'm going to open up a law firm. I don't know. Like, you can do whatever you want. And really, even at our age, or even into your 40s, 50s, 60s, it doesn't matter. The point is that when you have that mindset of, and it's that freedom of, I can do whatever the fuck I want. And it's literally that. And do not remove the fuck out of the phrase. It is, I can literally do whatever the fuck I want.
This the fuck.
The fuck.
There you go.
When you have that mindset, you're good. You're golden. Right. And so when people, you know, I share, you know, we started the podcast, so I bought a house. I share like my Instagram posts I put on there. People say, how'd you do it? Like, I don't have time for that. And so I would say, from the perspective of, I did it while working a corporate job. What that is to say is, it's possible. And I did it during a car accident. It's possible.
Mm-hmm. And during COVID.
It is possible. Motherfuckers just don't want to do it.
Well, let's say like this. It's very possible for certain people.
Sure.
Okay. Now, having the support group that we talked about when it came to.
Okay. Now, yes. Okay.
Right. The support group. When I said I've never heard of a smoking friendly or a drug friendly zone, right?
Yes.
Because that would insinuate that there are other people of the same like-mindedness around you to help you.
Correct.
Some people don't have that, right?
It's so important to build that.
And the issue is, for me, some people will never have it because of the certain circumstances that they live in, especially the people who had fathers and mothers who smoked and sold drugs.
Yep.
Drugs that we are now partaking in that are 100% legal, and it ruined their family.
It's like going into a Starbucks.
It's like this matrix that, remember that from earlier. It's like this matrix where we can now benefit from past pain, right? But in a way that it's like it's all good now. And that's the sad part, because history, like the creation of, let's say, the war on drugs wasn't that long ago, right? The whole idea of it wasn't that long ago, right. But it has impacted multiple generations to a point where now we are talking of a place of privilege, because I can easily tell you that all of the family members you said that had businesses, I'm trying to think how many family members I have that actually have their own business. I probably can't even count them on one hand. Right. So now it's which America are we talking about? That's the issue.
Yeah, but I definitely think that ties into the kind of support you have.
That's it. Right. Everything, right?
That's everything. And I would be remiss. Let me issue my own personal addendum here. I could not have done what I have done without your support, without many friends that have supported me throughout this whole thing, and some have been lost along the way.
Right.
Because people that are closest to me have supported my vision and knew what I wanted to do. Community in general, whether it's with other artists, other poets and writers, going to workshops and having that education with people, therapy. Holy fuck!
Right.
Go to therapy.
I'm trying. That's my next step.
All right,
but let's talk about that for a second. What made it socially acceptable for you to search yourself through yourself in the realm of like your artistry, right? What made it okay for you to think that you could become a poet, right? What allowed you to go to college and get a philosophy degree? Do you get what I mean? Because there's certain people where I know for a fact if I said I wanted to go to school for such and such, people would be like, "You're an idiot."
I think it's two things, and they kind of are almost contradictory. At the one token, I don't give a fuck.
Right. What, you don't give a fuck now, or
Then
you grew up not giving a fuck
that's
about?
the kind of attitude I had.
Right. So that's the part. Okay.
That's my attitude in general.
Right.
Is I'm gonna do what I want to. Now the kicker is, before it was, let me not put it all out there, right? And that's fear of judgment. So if you don't give a fuck and you don't put it all, and you don't say a whole lot, then okay.
It's like you kind of don't give a fuck.
You kind of don't give a fuck. Maybe a little bit you can.
I don't give a fuck. Asterisk.
Yes.
I got you.
Right. And that's kind of how I lived.
Uh-huh.
It was fine. I got by and I managed what I did. But now that I have, let's say, 95% removed the judgment, and I did something today which I'm a little ashamed of, because I judged
You sat
somebody.
down and peed. Okay,
Yes,
no, I'm sorry.
yikes. I mean, that's also bad.
Is it?
I mean, I had to when I had my injury, so
Well, certain
Hey.
people say that that's mandatory.
that's mandatory.
So
When I got on Instagram today, and I'm not super close with the majority of my extended family. I went to one of their Instagram pages and kind of quietly judged them, but caught myself in the act of saying, "Why am I judging them? They're no better nor worse than I am. We're all the same in some respect." And so I caught myself that judgment. But goddamn, we are so quick to do that. And I'm still working on that, and I'm certain people know what I'm talking about. We all do it, and that being part of as being human. But that's part of the growth for me is realizing I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing, and we can talk about the Gary Vee stuff because that's another big part.
I have no issue with Gary Vee.
You've told me that you wanted to say something about it.
I just like to bust your balls
I know.
about people that you.
I know.
Well, we already know that anybody you admire, there's something that they've said or done
Probably.
that you don't appreciate, and it could,
Yeah.
it could alter what you think of them.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, we can always talk about.
Like he chewed with his mouth open. He went on the chicken wing eating podcast or show on YouTube.
It's hot as fuck.
It's hot as fuck. He was chewing with his mouth open, and I judged him, and I feel kind of stupid about that. But also,
yeah, you should. You should feel stupid about that.
Yeah, I kind of have an aversion of like people that chew with their mouth open. That's like the 5% judgment I can't get past.
That's a very specific hate.
Yeah. So I don't hate him, but like I kind of like Gary, please stop.
Chews with his mouth open. So you never go to lunch with him?
No, I would never go to lunch with him.
All right. You heard it here first.
I'm not going to lunch with Gary Vee. Sorry, bro. But I have tremendous respect for his ability to not give a fuck. A and B. At least he appears to me. Let's say 99%, because nobody can be without judgment, unless you're the Buddha himself. You cannot be, right? To really commit himself to doing what he wants. And that is such a freeing thing to just say, wow, that's fucking awesome. Just do it. And
I just hate being a Debbie Downer.
Right.
I hate it. You know, because everything you say, I have like these little demons on my shoulder saying,
that's the cynic in you.
Speak up, Kelly. Say how you feel. And I'm not, and all of the things that I'm saying is, I'm just drawing parallels from your universe to mine.
Right.
And I'm thinking about how if a black man would say something like he doesn't give a fuck.
Absolutely.
Ooh, what does that mean in America? A white man can do that all day.
Yeah. And I'm certainly in a place of privilege for that.
And I think we're getting to a place where hopefully it's recognized that every man is created equal, but we're still not there.
Right.
Now there's a lot of people that would say, oh, he's wrong. Right. But like I said, this is my belief, right? It doesn't have to be 100% proven. I don't have to write a fucking dissertation on it.
Right.
Right. It's what I feel. And I feel like the fact that you can appreciate a man who is genuinely who they are.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And not being afraid of it. And I think of no man can be genuinely who they are unless all men can be.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like that's the whole thing about equality and all this bullshit. Because one person oppressed, everybody's oppressed in some form of power and everything. But I really think that we're getting to a place where it's okay. It's okay to be like, and this is the thing. We've always talked about these gender norms, right? Men supposed to do this, women supposed to do that. None of that fucking matters anymore.
No.
Out the fucking window.
No.
Right? But the question is, should it?
Right.
That's the question.
Where are you going with this?
Where am I going with it?
Yeah.
Right? All of these things you're saying, right?
Yes.
Could that be if you were a woman, could you say all of this stuff? It's a rough one.
We have to, I mean, to me, we have to, if you're a white woman or a black woman.
Ooh, let's not go into the double negatives.
I mean,
because when you start going that deep, then we're gonna start pulling up.
Yeah.
But no, I would say just a woman in general. A lot of the things you said, you couldn't say.
Absolutely not. No.
Right, but it's not acceptable. But we're not here for what's acceptable.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing. I really desire people to feel the way that I feel.
Right, and I think that's the point that I want to get at, that you feel so comfortable in your body, right, that you can say these things. And we would hope that one day everybody can be like that.
I would say I'm about 98% comfortable in my body. 98%. The other 2% is the hair.
Yeah.
So we talk about that too.
That's the thing.
I'm a hairy motherfucker. I am.
And I always thought it was weird because white people call black people apes, but goddamn it, you got more hair than my goddamn cat.
Exactly. So, and I've dated women and they say, "Oh, you're sexy," or like they like the hair. I'm like, for the longest time, again,
right,
growing up, and I was starting to get a mustache in like the 6th grade. Like started to get the hair. And like in gym class, I was teased a lot.
So you had a Luigi in 6th grade.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I was starting to sprout hairs. Yeah, I mean it was coming out, and
you have to
hairy legs even.
Okay, all right, there we go. You have to pinpoint because that was too much.
Yikes. Yeah.
You touched your chest when you said sprout. Okay, understood.
Yeah, but even legs, which I mean, who would think that you could be judged for having hairy legs? It's like the most peculiar thing.
All right, can we just say for a second how kids are demons in their own right?
Yes.
Because they have no filter.
Absolutely, of course.
And that's why I respect a lot of kids, because they will tell you to your fucking face.
Now I respect them. Yeah. As a kid, though, I mean.
All right, imagine being an adult, being able to say anything like a kid could. That is ultimate power right there.
Right. Oh yeah.
I was going to say who I'm thinking of when I said it, but I can't.
Okay.
All right, because we're still talking about you being hairy as fuck.
Yes. And yeah, had hair. I remember and I'll never forget this very distinctly. I was walking at Parkville Track, actually, and it was during gym class. And I was just like walking, and there was just like this chick with these bunch of people just walked by and said, "Oh, your legs are hairy," or I don't even remember what she said. And that's the thing, and I don't remember who said it, but it goes like this. You'll never remember what anybody said, but you'll remember how you felt. Yeah.
Oh, that's a big one.
That's a big oof right there. Okay. And I remember how I felt in that moment. And so for the longest time, that kind of brings me to this past month. I have these pictures of me at the beach with my girlfriend, and I'm wearing a tank top.
Right.
And I'd like to be groomed, but it's COVID. I didn't really groom my chest hair. Okay, I'm just calling it all.
You have to
I'm out
groom
there.
your chest hair.
I have.
You have a chest comb.
I have an electric chest comb. I have an electric razor. Is that what it's called? Yeah. I get that right. I have an attachment. Right?
You have the manscaping one, the really expensive one.
With the man groomer.
No, it's called Manscape.
Yeah, I used to have the man groomer. Ooh. It actually died.
It makes sense if you're that hairy.
If you're that hairy, you would die. So, I that's gone though. I also have like a Philips Norelco. God damn it! Shut up.
I'm just thinking about my own past history with like learning how to shave and do all the stuff. And I had hair, right? I had a beard, all that stuff, but it was nowhere near as glorious as yours.
Oh, we can talk about that too. Oh boy.
Right. But at the same time, it's just interesting to hear somebody else's, demons.
Oh yeah.
With grooming yourself.
With
it's
hair.
Very interesting.
I mean, it's absurd, really.
It's like this thing that grows on your body, but you don't want it.
Right. And for the longest time, it was like, no, it's disgusting. And then again, I started dating, and like, I remember I FaceTimed this chick, and she's like, I want to see your chest. I'm like, what? Like, that was like the biggest wake up call. I was like, you all think this is sexy? Okay. But anyway, so I was at the beach, right? This is a month ago with my girlfriend, and I wore a tank top, ungroomed, right? I have not posted those pictures on Instagram yet.
Yeah, I was getting ready to ask. I don't remember seeing these.
Right. For two reasons. The first reason is
it looks like
I'm
have
hairy,
a wool sweater on.
right?
I understand.
The second reason is there is a picture of me going like this. And the gesture I just made was effectively like, what did you describe it? Like licking somebody's vagina?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's very juvenile and kind of like I'm being a pig, right? But at the same time, I'm a pig, but a lot of men are pigs, right? So like, why am I afraid to post this photo? Isn't that curious?
It's like some weird peer pressure.
Yeah.
From who though?
From like a societal norm of men can't be pigs.
Whoa, wait, what?
Yeah.
I thought it was the other way around. It was justifiable if you're a man, you could be a pig.
See, I definitely have this weird thing where I feel like I can't be. Like I can't. We all do it. Like
is it you actively trying to change what like the whole reason for let's say it like this? Are you actually trying to fight every norm that what a man is supposed to be?
In some way, I feel like I am or was. I feel like I've begun to break down that barrier.
But why can't you just be you?
It's tough. That's a tough one. Because I don't think anybody really can be 100% who they are. And that's really tough to be. I think some people have gotten there. It's a process, I will say that.
Right.
It's not like tomorrow I'm just going to be like, I'm going to join a nudist colony. Right? You know what I mean? Like people that are nudists are really comfortable with themselves.
With your particular body type and
no, it's not happening.
Hair, I think that they would even be kind of awkward about it. You're like, whoa, dude, like you need to get this shit fixed. But at the same time,
so that's the authenticity thing.
So this is you, right? This is Frank. This is like the defining part. Just be you, bro.
Yeah. So that is something I'm working on. And the next thing that I've changed over the past, it's been more than maybe 2 years almost. And that can't be that long. Maybe it is.
What?
The beard.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never grown a beard in my life.
I remember when I told you to. Yeah.
But it wasn't you. I listened to somebody else first, so I can't name.
That's fine.
But yeah, then you told me too, but it's not to say you didn't tell me. But when she first told me, like, grow a beard, I'm like, what? Oh, grow a beard. I mean, I try it. All right. I did. I was like, oh.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
That's kind of nice. And then I kept growing it and like taking care of it. And people started to ask me, how do you grow one? I'm like, you just grow.
You just fucking wake up and go to sleep.
Just live.
Exist.
And maybe put a little oil in it and then stop making jokes like you're going to put Wesson oil in it. Just actually buy some beard oil and stop. Like, if you want to grow it, just grow it. Like, don't.
Did you say Wesson oil?
Yeah. I literally had a senior vice president of my company ask me, like the No Shave November, right?
Uh-huh.
People thought they think it's cute to grow a beard or whatever, and they grow it and like, oh, I'm just going to take this Wesson oil in the cabinet and just, no, it's not what you do, but that's fine.
I don't know. I need to look up these properties now. It might be the new thing.
Probably not. It's not anything.
Canola oil might work.
But that was a weird reversal of how hair has so long plagued me.
Right.
And now I've turned that into, it's like this sexy or confident attribute that I now have. And in some weird way empowers me. I'm not really sure what it is, but it does work for me. That's been monumental. Really has. So
It's good. It's good.